This is Eagle Owl, and today we will be talking about Eagles culture and why does that matter. Also, we're going to talk about Vic Fangio. Yes, Fangio spoke to the media. He talked about pushing the players, and he talked about a few interesting things. Also, Kellen Moore. Yes, he will be introducing that motion to the offense, but let's get straight into it. All right, so let's dive straight into it. Let's talk about Eagles culture. Eagles culture is strong right now, like far as the team. Um, and I wanted to deep dive into this because I think of May 10th of 2024, every single Eagles fan saw the LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson talk about Chip Kelly. So everybody wanted to know the full story. We heard things here and there, and it showed you how talented that 2010 team was, but because the culture was off, the coaches were off, it just completely destroyed the whole team. But let me just play a little clip on how demanding Chip Kelly was, man.
Michael Vick, like you telling all these guys we not starters. Asante was Asante there or he left?
He wasn't there.
He wasn't there. He would have had a
Oh
hard time
my
with
God.
Asante. But it's like you coming in, you telling guys you not starters. So since day one, I'm like, this not gonna merge right? So then it comes on later on. So we in the meeting, he starts saying, oh, y'all gotta wear heart monitors, y'all gotta pee in the cup to see how hydrated, y'all gotta put a sleep monitor on at nighttime. Bro, we going out, we having fun. You trying to tell me you trying to control how much we sleeping,
Yo.
how much water we drinking? Like you like we was like a guinea pig. It was like we was back at college and it was like he was nitpicking at every little thing, right? So I'm like,
You see, like, yo, he wanted to monitor their heart, they sleep, this and that. Weird stuff. Weird stuff. And we talk about grown men, superstars, and he wanted to do this and do that. Nah, that just wasn't gonna work. That just ain't right. Now, if you ask me on May 10th of 2024 as well, why Nick Sirianni is so important, I would say, well, look at the Chip Kellys who was terrible. I mean, he knew how to call offensive plays, sure, but he was terrible to the players. Terrible. Now, we may laugh at Nick Sirianni, the antics and stuff that he do on the sideline. Maybe he's just a guy on the sideline to get the guys amped up. Wow, that was funny probably a week ago. No, that's serious now. Like, yo, we need a guy that's a culture setter, a guy that can get these guys going. Maybe he's not the play caller, this and that, but he's the guy the players really like. He's a players friendly coach. And maybe you need that stuff because look at the NFL today. You know, the head coach in Detroit, he don't call plays. The players just love him. I believe I believe Mike Tomlin, if I'm not mistaken. I know he was a defensive coach at one point, but Mike Tomlin, I don't think called too many plays as well. He's more of a player friendly coach as well. So that's where the league is trending. Of course, you're gonna always have the Andy Reid's and stuff that can just do it all, right? It's player friendly, he can call plays, this and that. But that Chip Kelly thing just took me back. Like, man, no matter how good you are, if you don't got the culture right, your team is gonna crumble. But let me play a clip of showing why the team culture is right.
Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. That leg shaking. That boy slam. let go and catch it before it drops. One minute. Hey, rep for real. Rep for real. Hey, rep for real, man. Kenny. Rep for real. Hey, rep for real. Go ahead, talk, Kenny. Rep for real. Let's not play it. Let's go lock it in. City, all right? Minute and a half. Here we go. Uh-oh. They go grab the ref now. Not you anymore. Here we go. That left hand. That left hand. That left hand right there. We see it. Uh-oh. Hey, no, you better not drop that. You better not drop that.
You see, like all the players amping up, Kenneth Gainwell amping up, Sidney Brown, mind you. Just a reminder: Sidney Brown tore his ACL in January. He's out here doing weightlifting challenges. I'm just saying, the kid is a freak. For some reason, a lot of people forgetting about him. But let me just go back to the point. The culture is right. The culture is right. And last year, what was wrong? Something was going on with the coaches, then the players. We was talented enough to win 11 games, but if that culture ain't right, you're not getting nowhere. And then there was another video floating around that I posted of Brenton Covey. He was recording, and it was just Joseph Nagata versus Dallas Goddard on a video game, and everybody was amped up. They was playing UFC. Just little stuff like that really, really matters. Like, you want the team together. You want the team connected. While a lot of people were somewhat offended of what Kenneth Gainwell said, but it was the honest truth. Like, yo, we wasn't even connected. But now you see, that's the point of this off season and everything, starting everything early. Get the team connected. Get these guys want to play for each other. And I love the culture right now. The culture right now looks good. And, hopefully the coaching can transition as well. But let's talk about the coaching. Let's talk about Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio is giving me that old school vibe. I love it. He wants players to play hard. He wants to coach his players hard. But like the title said, pushing the players. But let's listen to him talk about pushing the players.
We used to expect. And these players will work and give you everything they got within reason. And there's too much of, and that starts at an early age, when they're in high school, college, everybody, less is more type thing. They preserve your energy. You guys hear in the NBA and load management, and I talk to coaches from other sports that I know, and, it drives them crazy. But the players are willing to work. Never had an issue with that. And they're still willing to work. But we, as the so-called adults in the room, need to push them.
So how have you adapted?
Take what?
Take the pushing and
Not, again, within reason. I'm not proposing we go 2-a-days and do, what is it, North Dallas? What was the thing in Dallas?
40.
Yeah, North Dallas 40. Yeah.
In 2022, that was sort of a
I love it. A reporter did ask him, like, again, would it rub the players the wrong way? I don't think so. And he said it's no difference between the old players and the new players. It's just that the new players expect, they want their nutrition and this and that. But these guys are still athletes. You can push these guys to be great, but you got to set that. That's back to the first topic, the culture. You got to set that Jordan Davis can be pushed. Jalen Carter can be pushed. He talked about specific players. He talked about Zach Bond. It seemed like he liked him a lot. The guy from New Orleans, he liked him a lot. He mentioned him, you know, just without even be asked about him. He mentioned him. Just talking about linebacker in general. He want to push these dudes to play at a high level. He also spoke about versatile players like Cooper DeJean, and he spoke about like why he used versatile players the way he used them. But let me play this clip.
At a couple different positions. So there's a lot of guys that are versatile physically, but can't do it mentally. And I don't mean that they're not going to get, your reps are watered down the more you're moving around. And other guys are easier, it comes easier for them than others, if that makes sense to you. And what was the second part?
Just the fact of how you start those types of players out. If you
you start them out at a primary position, and then you start giving them the secondary position and go from there.
Hey, Vic, after you left Miami, it was suggested that you didn't get along.
I agree. While a lot of people saying like, why start Cooper DeJean this? Why start that? He like, I want to start him in one place, and then eventually get them implemented in another place. But you don't want these versatile guys all over the place just head first, because that can destroy them. Most versatile players, or a lot of them, do fail. We got to be honest. A lot of them do fail. Like, I'm not trying to throw him under the bus now because I really like this player, but he played for the Giants now. Isaiah Simmons, a versatile player. Isaiah Simmons can play edge, can play linebacker, hell, can even play cornerback and safety. But the problem was, at least in Arizona, is that they couldn't find his sweet spot. So they was trying to move from everywhere and just simply didn't know how to use him. Whereas though his bread and butter is playing linebacker. And then if we want to implement them, learn skills here and there, cool. But the main thing is he was a linebacker. And that's the thing. We don't want to use Cooper DeJean wrong. We don't want to put him at safety if he don't really want to do that and that's not his sweet spot. You got to find it. And again, I like what Vic Fangio is saying so far. I like what he's saying. I'm on his side. Use the versatile players right. Again, he mentions that Bond being versatile and how he got Van Ginkel to be this top tier guy. So it sounds like a guy that, again, know what he's doing, taking a lot of his experience and bringing it with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I love it. I like it. But let's talk about Kellen Moore. And the one thing I just wanted to hear Kellen Moore say, let's talk about, is motion. I wanted to hear that word and I wanted to hear him talk about it. But let's play this clip.
This thing.
when it comes to motion and offense, that's been one of the things that's a little bit different. The Eagles, a lot of ways to impart information. The Eagles haven't used it a lot. You're typically in the top 10. Is that something based on the players, or is that your sort of philosophy to have?
Yeah, certainly the shift in motion aspect of it. It probably goes back, to how I grew up around the game with my dad being a high school coach and being in college at Boise State. We kind of used it a lot. And so it's always kind of stuck with me. I think there's obviously advantages to it. There's some things that you're trying to gather information for the defense, and there's other times you're simply stressing the defense. And so, I think there's those two elements, and ultimately you're trying to build packages and create things so that the run and the action game and the drop back game, and so there's alignment and there's similarities with the presentations that allows us to stress the defense with those different looks.
On game day, from a play calling perspective, what is the most important thing to you?
Clean operation.
Love it. Love it. Introduce that motion. He talked about Jalen Hurts. He talked about the offense, how everybody, is there, started early, this and that. Talked about Saquon. Cool, but we got to implement that motion. He said he loved the motion. It stresses the defense. That's the thing, or that was the thing we couldn't do with the talent we had. We couldn't stress the defense. Like, you got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. Why are you so predictable? And then you had DeAndre Swift. Why are you so predictable? But Kellen Moore is going to bring some new flavor. And I still believe you should keep some of like Nick Sirianni things in there, or hear Nick Sirianni out because you don't want to become predictable as far as with Kellen Moore. Bring two minds together, come up with plans, cool. But introducing that motion, it's going to work. It should work, especially with the talent we have on the offensive side of the ball. So I love it. I love how this offseason is going so far. We almost close to the end of May, so we're gonna start seeing the real OTAs mandatory. We almost there, y'all. We almost there. Then you got June. I believe we got mini camp at the beginning of June as well. And next thing you know, training camp. The next thing you know, preseason. Next thing you know, it's gonna be that real thing. Next thing you know, we're gonna be looking up like, oh snap, we got a week 1 game against the Packers. So, hey man, what do you think? How do you feel about the news today? How do we feel about the culture, Eagles culture? It's getting strong, man. The culture is getting strong. Also, how do we feel about the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator? This is Eagle Al. I'm